Hey, welcome. All my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here with nothing on but my pyramids. Doing what I do for you. I got a nice lesson from the book today. Bring you up to speed. You know we rocking. I put my yacht to the side. She's still here, but right now we going back to the tree of life. Good stuff. Okay? Stuff that I learned that I want to pass on. So I'm going through the book to try to help out my right thinkers to know themselves, the knowledge and understanding that they can actually use, manifest for themselves. So let's do what we do. Rightism, 25 rules to live by, storytelling, story with a message, message and story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receive them. We got a good thing going. I appreciate you. Let's rock. Right thinkers mission, and that's what I'm on every day, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Get to know yourself a little bit better from the inside out. It's always a good thing. Right thinking is way of life, and that's what it is for me. Through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka to know thyself. That's my mission, to get all right thinkers to do just that. So my thing is to put the information out there for you to do that. So that's what I do for you. Let's go. And the goal is to remember to know thyself. Is the question that I ask. Again, do you know you? If you don't know, you got some issues with that, check me out. That's what I do for you every day. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is just foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not, tune in, check me out. I got you. I appreciate them. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Again, appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. But I do this because I'm shutting down my mouth so without saying something that I don't need to be saying. So I shut it down and just leave it there. Leave them alone. Avoid those kind of people who believe or think that they know but don't. Trust me, it's a lot of them. A person who knows, it's a lot of them, but knows not that they know. They're spiritually asleep. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself. As always, to Mayat be true. Mayat to me is like amen to y'all. Okay? That's how serious I am about her. Quick little lesson. Let me show you something in the book. That's the map of Africa, Egypt. There's three different parts that they study, three different cosmologies, and three different concepts. I'm gonna break them down for you. And we're gonna start with, okay, it's called the Anunian. This is the Anunian concept. And when I get finished reading the lessons to you, you'll understand this one we started. This one is titled Right Thinkers. Let's talk about, okay, Anunian Theurgy, the divinities and their interrelationships, how they work together. All the guys are working together, so to speak. That's what the concept is. So let's talk about this. This starts out in the city of Anu, and they worshiping Amun Ra. The netters of creation, they call it the what? The company of gods and goddesses. I told you about them. Now let's talk about the netter, singular. One god, Netteru, all the other gods that come down after him. Okay? We did the staff. I showed you what the netter was. It is not a person. We gave it identity. We put it into perspective, philosophical concepts so that we can teach it. Mythology, allegorical stories to teach a lesson. Okay, it's for teaching purposes. Then you got the Nebercha. That's the one singular, all-encompassing God. We call him Amun, which is what? Unseen, the spirit, hidden, is ever present in all things, aka supreme being, one that which is beyond what? Duality. Remember, Maya represents duality. I broke that down to you. She represents options. Good, bad. Okay. That's what she represents. That's why she came out the first thing Rod did when he set up thing. Chaos was abound. He put Maya that took care of everything, put everything in perspective. order, justice, and everything that's divine. That's her job. But let's start with the top. You got Ra, sun. The visible part of Amun is the Ra. Amun, Ra, Ptah. Three different guys, three different concepts, but they all had a purpose and they all had followers from their perspective. We're going to start with Anu. Okay? They did Ra. Ra is the high god. Then you have Hathor, which is the female force. Okay, opposite of Haru. She the other half had Haru was her real name. Remember, some of these names I gotta remember. The Greeks, I dealt Hathor had Haru. Then you got Tahuti. The Greeks call him Hermes Trismegistus. The Romans call him Mercury. Everybody had a name for our God. They just took him and just gave him different names. Same God, it just made it different. So understand that. We talk about that lesson. That's not a lesson. But then you got my favorite, Maya. These are all things before he started anything. These are things that had to be in place. Then you got the firstborn, which is Shu. Opposite of that is Tafnu. Shu represents air. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that. It's going to be in the lesson. Let's go. I hate explaining everything when I can just read it to you. So that's why I use the book most of the time, because I'd be going a little bit too far. Okay. The mystery teachings of the Anunian traditions are related to what? The divinity Ra and his company of God and goddesses. Neter, Ra, Neteru, God and goddesses. Now, this temple is related temple, and this related temple espouse what? The teachings of creation. Everybody has a creation story, and that's where you should start from. That's why I start from the creation story. Now you got human origins and the path of spiritual enlightenment by means of what? The supreme being in the form of what? The God Ra. It tells how Ra emerged from the primeval ocean and how human beings were created from what? His tears. Another story. I'll let them tell you. The god and goddesses who are his children, considered his children. Mayat is his daughter, Hadu his daughter, Tahuti his son. These are the concepts, but they all come down in the family tree concept. Okay? So who are his children and what? They go to form the elements of nature. Here we go. God shows himself through nature. Watch this. And the cosmic forces that maintain nature. The first one, okay, you got another picture. I gotta show you this one. Now, look at the headdress. All of them got different headdress. Okay, I hope you can see that. But the headdress signifies who and what they represent. So, okay, so get to understanding. When I'm done, you're gonna know every one of them headdress by the define and understanding who and what they represent. Okay, so let's start with the top row. It says first one you got Ra. Ra is the man with the falcon head with the sun dish over with a snake, a Uraeus on it from the head. Okay, now that Uraeus spits poison, venom, 6 feet. Just a tidbit. Moving on. And you see him stand on the platform, that's Maya. All gods stand on Maya. She's the pedestal. She represents the pedestal for the gods to stand on, because they all stand on her philosophy. And then she also represents at Judgment Day, she represents the scale. Sometimes she even the scales. Okay? So she's a bad mamma jamma. Understand that. Now, you got Ra, then you got from left to right on here. The first guy you saw was Shu. He got a feather like Maya, the ostrich feather. That's what he sports. That's his headgear. Then you got Tufnut, which is his counterpart. She represents water. She's the lioness headed, but she got his sun disk with the 2 Uranus on her. But when you start learning them and learning why the purpose, that's the mastery yourself. Why? Because you start to put yourself together personality by personality, character by character. You're going through psychological. With this, with Maya, you don't need a shrink. You don't need a therapist. Why? You're going to have all that built into your understanding and your knowledge of self. That's why. So then you got Geb, you got Nut, you have Asar, you have Aset, you have Set, you got Nephthys, and at the end, you got Haru I didn't even introduce my class until Haru. Why? Because they were thinking that's him before they get there. Haru is you, master self, while on earth. But it's things you need to do to become Haru. That's why I say he's in you. You got to bring him out. And self-mastery means you got to master all these other gods to get to you, to know thyself. That's the goal. Now, the teachings of the tree of life have been laid out in this volume in such a way, watch this, to disseminate the philosophical teachings. I'm going to break it down as we go, related to what? All the principles of the tree of life, the system of what? Spiritual evolution from the bottom up, working from the bottom over up. This is to say, from the existence on earth as an earthly conscious being to becoming what? A being of higher consciousness. That's when you become Haru Earth. You don't went through all the rigors, you don't master all the concepts of yourself. Now you are in total control while here on earth, not after death. Sorry. It should be treated, watch this, as a manual for what? Your psycho-spiritual journey, and it's the map of the Anunian Theurgy, aka the Tree of Life, cosmic honor mythograph. I like that word. It's a mouthful. But the reader, right thinkers, you should go through this entire text. I've read this book 3 times. And then what? Spend extended time doing what? Working with each lesson. There's 15 lessons in this book. We just in getting to the first one. Okay, we're just getting started, so we got a ways to go. Work with me. Don't be impatient, but the whole time you're gonna get information that you can use and benefit from. That's the name of the game. And if you keep a journal of these, of your reflections and your meditations, some people have to write stuff down. That's fine. The time frame is intermittent, indeterminate. Some individuals may require more time than others to assimilate, process, and integrate the teachings and apply it in their life. Trust me, everybody is different. When I was giving my class, I can tell week to week by the character, how they presented themselves, who was doing their homework, who was studying, and I can tell the growth from that. So when you the master of something, you can tell how the students are progressing by watching them. There you go. I don't do the grading thing. Hey, no, I don't got time for that. No, you're gonna pass or you fail. Simple as that. Now, in lesson 14, go at the end, the main parameters for the disciplinary practice related to the tree of life, evolutionary teachings have been what? Discussed in detail. And we're gonna do that. That discipline is to what? Be applied to the principles learned in each lesson. There's a discipline concept that holds you accountable at each lesson. The best way to progress effectively with the tree of life, right thing philosophy, evolutionary teaching is to what? Work with a competent spiritual preceptor. Someone who can what? Explain the teachings and provide a competent guidance on its applications. That's what I do for you. Any questions? Feel free. Why? That's why I got the answer for any question you got. And starting with lesson 1, the mystical and metaphysical origins of what? The Anunian company of God and goddesses. They got a thing written down here. I'm not going through all that because it's written in hieroglyph and I don't read the hieroglyphs. Okay. But at the bottom page, it says above the papyrus of the correction or creation story. So the creation story goes at the head of the company of God and goddesses. Of the Anuian is God Ra. The Kemetic word for a company of God and goddesses is what? Paut, P-A-U-T, or Paute, P-A-U-T-T-I. Ra can be considered what? As the head of the family, the father of gods and goddesses, dad, so to speak. Hence Pa Netta, the father Netta, the most high, whatever you want to call it. But watch this. Now, for example, as the patriarch or king, we live in a patriarchal society right now. The ancients lived in a matriarchal society, meaning women was in control. Big difference. So another lesson, but let's talk about this. You got the patriarchal or the king of the gods and goddesses. Now, all other gods and goddesses, what? Emanate from him. Please understand that. They showed you the picture. Yeah, showed the picture already. With the staff, which God, everybody else is under him. Okay? They show you. Yeah, they know it. But yeah, emanate from him, meaning everything comes from him. Understand that. However, you need to remember what we had discussed in the Anunian Theurgy lectures, that what? Ra is merely the image of what? The supreme and transcendental being, which represents in time and space. Amun is hidden, can't see it. So he had to make things possible for you to recognize him. So he became air, so us to breathe, water, for us to have. All these qualities, elements he manifests for us through himself. Now, understand that. In other words, he and all other god and goddesses that come after him, that compose the what? The physical creation. Starts with the air, okay? All are what? Are all but transient aspects of a transcendental supreme being that is what? Beyond time and space. He's not here with he's past this. He created this for us. And beyond the raw manifestation itself. But we will elaborate on the transcendental aspect like that of that later. Right now, let's talk about Shu. No, excuse me, no. Therefore, from one supreme and absolute comes what? The one divinity in time and space. Represents Ra. Let there be Ra. And from that one divinity comes what? All the multiplicity that you see in the world in time and space. And the Anunian Theurgy explains that what? This multiplicity arises why? Because Ra gives rise to what? 9 other gods. They call it the Enir. Another lesson. The Neteru. He's the Neter. Everything after that is Neteru, plural. Okay. They emanate from him again, which is a hierarchical manner and manifest as what? The different principles of creation. The higher divinities the higher divinities are the more subtle ones, whereas the lower divinities are grosser. In addition, each god and goddess has a specific principle. Here we go. That he or she provides over. That he or she what controls. So you want to get that aspect of your character and you master it, hence knowing thyself. So for all the elements and the principles that govern the element, there is a cosmic force that emanates from Ra that controls all of these physical aspects of creation. We call him God. Start with Shu. Shu is what? The firstborn son. He controls the principle of space. I give you a creation story, whole different concept, but just gonna put it to you that way. So you got Shu, which represents ether and air. Tufnut, his firstborn daughter, male, female. After that, when she was born, male, next one, female. They're going to mate and they're going to create somebody, male and female. It comes down the ladder. You'll see it follows a pattern. Now, according to the teacher, Tough Nut, his firstborn daughter, controls the principle of what? Water. These are elements. We gave them identity. We gave them life so we can teach and learn about them. Shu is what we breathe. The water, tough new, is the water that comes down. The earth is 75% water. We can't drink but 1% of it that's fresh. So the water ain't meant for us to drink. It's another lesson. Well, watch this. Now, according to the teachers, these divinities emanate from the Ra, who is what? The highest and the subtlest being in time and space. Next comes what? The divinity Shu, followed by the divinity Tough Nut. They are little, they are a little grosser than Ra, a little grosser than Ra. Shu and Tough Nut come together and what? They produce Geb and Nut, earth and heaven, respectively. We call earth by the male Geb. Why? Because heaven is female. Y'all call Gaia earth, but yeah, but the original concept was male. Why? The obelisk that represents the male phallus. Females don't have that. Heaven is what? Between the black woman's legs, as my man Dr. Ben would tell you. I'm getting close to end this lesson where I got the time restraint. So let me wrap this up right quick so I can hopefully send this one out to you and back it up with another lesson. But it's all continued. Let's go. You got Shu and Tough Nut come together to produce Geb and Nut, earth, respectively. And they are grosser. Geb is what? The physical earth. And Nut is the sky with the stars and the planets. Thus, They form the physical world, the solar system, the galaxy, aka the universe. That's that up there. And all that's up there, elements. We haven't come into existence yet. What? Humans. Then you got Geb and Newt. They come together, and here you go. Then they produce 5 divinities, starting with Asar, Aset, Set, Nephlet, and Haru-Ur. A lot of stories don't tell you about Haru-Ur being born from Geb and Newt. They tell you from Asar and Aset. So, but he's born as a boy. Here, he's full grown. He come out master of self. So that's the concept. To get there, you have to be born, nurtured. Isis gonna give you things you need in life. So understand that it's a concept. Sorry about that. Get ahead again. Get back. Now these lower divinities are what? Are the grossest ones. What you mean? They compose human existence. Hello, I told you. The first 5 elements: Ra, air, water, earth, heaven. The 6th element is carbon-based man with spirit inside, aka human beings. So I don't have to go through all that, but that's the existence. That's where I started. And watch this. They are the ones that make up the aggregate of what? Human psychic. Thus, you have these main aspects of what? Your personality that are composed of these 5 divinities and also the cosmos. Thus, you have these main aspects as your personality, plus the, oh, sorry, I read that over here. 5 divinities in the cosmos, right here. The physical, the gross and subtle universe is composed of the first 5 elements: Ra, Shu, Tufna, Geb, and Nu. I don't know why I keep doing that because I can just read it and you get to understand. I like to break it down because I'm used to doing it. But in the broad sense, actually, watch this. Your personality is composed of what? All of these because you are the microcosm of the entire creation. You have Shu in you, air, ether. You have the waters, the power of what? Moisture within you. 75% of us is moisture within you. You have a what? A limit, excuse me, a little bit of you that is up in the sky and a little bit of you that is down in the earth. So all the things that's here are incorporated in us and we're part of them. That's it. Now watch this. In this lesson, we will start to focus on what? The lower divinities first and how to understand this conception of the Anunian Theurgy as the tree of life which roots in the sky in Ra and it branches come down to earth. That's in this lesson because my time is up, but you know the deal. I'll be back with part 2 with more for you.